Good evening, everyone. Jay Garcia here, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. So Sunday coaching series continue. I'm going to keep this thing going forever, I think. So tonight's call, we got the first-time investors' mistakes. Okay, that one's a good call. Somebody requested this also. A few questions that keep coming in. I think it's a lot of newbie. Nothing wrong with that newbie investor. So it's probably a good call on this. And then, of course, we got so many other coaching calls that are coming. I always ask that if y'all have any questions, send them in to me. Now, we're starting to get quite a few questions coming in now, and I think it's right about that time to do a Q&A. The Q&A, for those of you who are new on here or have not seen that, is basically any and everything that you can ask me throughout the call. Now, we will come in, and I'm probably going to do it next Sunday. There is enough questions at this time. I like about 20, 30 questions. We're just back-to-back fire. We got Monica, sales agent, on here join us with us. I think her camera's down, but she will be talking. And it's just basically a lot of the questions that are coming in, especially the repeated ones, we just answer them. The goal is to help everyone on here. So that is a good time for y'all to also ask and or send the questions before next Sunday. So I think that's what the call is going to be. But tonight we have first-time investors mistakes, the newbie mistakes coming into mobile home investing. We got deals. We got the Let's Do Deals on Tuesday. Every Tuesday where we present deals. Quite a bit of interest, investors, but it seems to be the same thing that I'm seeing repeatedly over and over. And so for those of you that have been on here, you kind of already understand that. You hear me say it all too often. Investors will use that word. They go into a mobile home and they see trash everywhere. Trash bags laying around, cat, dog poop, whatever you may think of, right? It's all in there. But the house is intact. The floors are solid. The roof is solid. The walls are solid. I mean, it's really more so what I consider it's a housekeeping cleanup. Get a dumpster out there, get all the garbage out of there, and you get to go. Those homes continue to scare more investors than any other ones. They can come in and they can see holes right through the floor. Soft versus bouncy. Bouncy is not a good thing. Problems don't get better over time. They'll see scratches and holes in the walls, and we can take care of this. And again, it's all how you see it. One thing that I remind everybody is that when you're looking at these investments, unless you're going to live in it, you need to look at it like an investment. Okay. So something like that, to pass up on something that simply needs a cleanup because it smells bad, there's trash everywhere, versus something that you have to rehab, especially for any new and upcoming investor, a new one getting into it, you want to find the deals in the mobile homes that need the least possible rehab. Okay. That being said, find those that need the least possible. Okay, so, and I'm only mentioning that because, again, Saturday we had a few investors that went out to a few mobile homes and they checked them out. And I think their feedback was somewhere in the neighborhood. And I'm not calling anybody out on here, by the way, but I think their feedback was they need too much work. Now, these homes, I've walked them myself. I walked most of all the inventory you see on Let's Do Deals on a spreadsheet. I have walked every home. That's just the way I do it. I like to do my own due diligence. Every now and then I will get an agent to go out there. It just depends on the area. But for the majority of the time, every home that you see on there, I have been in that home. So when I heard that, oh, well, they passed up on the deal. They said it was too much we had to do. I'm thinking, wow, that home not only did not have trash in it, but it was basically a come in touch up, little scratches here, little dings, nothing bad, nothing major. So, something. And I think, and I'm going to get into this here in a second, but I think many times it's also who you're listening to. I'm going to mute a couple of people on here, a little bit of background noise. If you need to speak on here, just unmute yourself or drop a comment. And it could be who you're listening to. So as one of many mistakes is when you're coming in too is, who is your contractor, your handyman, or who are you listening to? Somebody says, oh, that's too much work, and you just listen without real facts or real numbers, you could be passing up on what is a good deal simply because you're being advised by somebody who does not know. So I think that was maybe what happened on that there. And I started making a few educational videos, and I'm going to make a couple more and really truly breaking down mobile homes. So for those of you listening on here, if there is a mobile home that you are interested in a Let's Do Deal sheet, send it to me. I love to break it down and show you what the numbers actually look like versus what you're being told. Okay. So let's get started. Any questions, drop them on the comments box. There'll be advertisements on there coming, so make sure you pay attention to that as well. One of the first things that I see in investors is rushing in or getting immediate paralysis by analysis. There is some investors, I'll continue to use that word, who have been talking to me for probably going on 2 years now, and they're still looking for that first deal. So you have that happening, okay? I just got to get a little bit more education. I just got to study a little bit more. And then you have those that want 20 mobile homes to start with. So both, I think, One is better than the other. But I think that is a mistake that I see quite a bit a lot. And I saw one investor not too long ago. Now he's doing good. He ended up taking education, so it definitely helped him out. But he took on way too many homes. He'd never done the real estate. He never done any investing in this type of housing. And immediately he wanted three. That was, you're not going to talk him down. He wanted three mobile homes. Well, he done sold two and he's on his third one. So he's doing good. But that is not something I would advertise. As to any investor, is you got to get out there. You cannot learn everything from a book. Okay. A lot of you are sitting there trying to study, trying to educate yourself. And there are programs out there we have on ourselves. There's many you can go simply as to YouTube and pay attention and learn a lot. I learned how to fix vehicles on YouTube. So education is out there if you want it. But there's a lot of things that you're not going to learn until you get out there and really truly start beating that hammer, them nails, them floors, because you're going to learn a lot. Now, when I got started, as much as it was a downside at the beginning, it has gone on to do me wonders. When I first got started, I didn't know anything about network. I didn't know contractors, handyman. All I know is that nobody wanted to work. Okay. I kept hiring and firing kind of thing. Nobody wanted to show up. So at one point I said, I don't need contractors. I will do it myself. Right. So I went out there and I knew enough skill to get out there, start rehabbing. And simply I would hire contractors to come and check my certain work that I would do. And it all checked out. It was good. And if it needed repairs, I would fix them. But what that ended up doing after doing one home and then a total of 10 rehabs by myself is that it taught me a lot of things that now, when I do hire a new contractor, for instance, you can't just tell me certain things have to be done. I know what you're talking about. So what I'm getting at is that a lot of you may need to spend a little time out there, maybe in your first rehab. The more you engage in it, and this is why you may want one over two or three immediately, pay attention. You're not micromanaging. You don't need anybody you need to micromanage. But imagine if you get one deal and you're all hands-on in every way possible. Is it possible that you can learn so much more? Simply by being near the contractor, asking questions. Why do you need to fix this way? Why does this need to be changed out? How much does it typically cost? I spent weekends at the Home Depot and Lowe's when I first got started because I wanted to know prices of what things cost. That's another example. Let's say you hire a contractor to come in and fix half the floor in one bedroom. That's all you need. Everything checks out in the mobile home. Okay. But you got one half of a room that is a little soft, a little bouncy, that's particle board, and you're thinking, well, that's not safe. You would be correct. That's not safe and you need to change it. How much is it going to cost you to change half of that bedroom floor? Okay. A contractor is going to give you a number. And many times most investors, they say, oh, okay, can you do better? Or is that it? They say, no, that's all we can do. Okay, we'll take it. I'm going to ask questions like, give me the breakdown of this. Now, see, if you spent time at Home Depot or Lowe's, now, if you follow us enough, you know that we don't shop from there. We've shopped from Craigslist, Let Go, Classified, OfferUp, all these other sites. Home Depot and Lowe's, that is almost our last resort. That's where we go at the end. And even when we do go there, there's the clearance section now. There's discounts. If you have an account with them, you get the contract discount. So there's a lot of ways that we're trying to save money. But I know that one sheet, and it ain't $20 anymore when I first got started, those numbers have gone up. But if all I need is one sheet of plywood, right? That's all I need. One sheet of plywood. The carpet is fine. We're going to roll it up, put this new lumber under it, and we're going to lay it back down. You're looking at what? Maybe $100. Let's just say $100, round numbers. Okay. And then you have the contractors. How much is he or she going to charge you to do that? Another $100. Okay. Well, you're in at $200. So you got an estimate for $700. Please break down the $700 for me. And a lot of people don't do that because they just kind of go with it. This is not real estate. This is not houses. We don't do stick built houses. Everything we do is affordability. Okay. And you have to know your numbers. So that's the next one on that. You don't know what you're doing and playing it out. There's a lot of things you can wing in life. I would not suggest that you try to wing your way into mobile home investing. Again, numbers is the biggest thing. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I continue to see, not first time, but investors continue to do. When I ask investors that have invested in a few mobile homes now, what are the markets in this area here? Well, what are you looking at for rentals, for lot rents, ARVs? Oh, I think, or I guess, or that's not factual. Okay. Well, we don't guesstimate. We don't guess. The numbers are out there and you can get them. It's all the way how you go after it. And again, we don't have the luxury like real estate. There's no Zillow, Truly, or real estate, FMLS, all these sites. You have to do the legwork. A lot of this can be as simple as making a phone call. Make a phone call to the apartment managers, ask them what is being sold in the past 30, 60, 90 days, figure out the numbers. What are the lot rents in the area? Now, much like real estate, remember, you go over a hill, suddenly you have different type of numbers. So the same thing. If one park has it at one set number, That does not mean across the street or across town, you're going to find the exact same numbers in a different park. So all these things just take a little bit of work to figure out. I coach a lot in the beginning of, and I talk about picking a radius. Pick a radius mile wise that you're going to invest in and master that market. So let's just say I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. If I was getting started, I would say spread it out about 30 miles. Now from Atlanta, 30 miles out, I want to master all those markets there, because when it's time to invest, I'm going to know all these numbers up quick. And the quicker you are, the quicker you can make offers for one. But you know the numbers and you know where you can invest and where you cannot. Of course, we always say, don't try to make a deal that is not a deal, right? But if you know your numbers and you know your exit strategies, you're going to know where you can and you can't, or what you can or can't use, kind of thing. So numbers, you have to know your numbers. Lot rents, rental rates, ARBs, move-in readies, okay? 30, 60, 90 days, figure those out and then break them down. Then, of course, you have the direct sellers, which that's a whole another call for another day. But then you have to figure out on that. But then you also have the maximum allowed offer, which all you do is work backwards. What are you allowed to offer? Maximum number. If we were to go into a mobile home park right now and we showed you 2 or 3 mobile homes that are distressed, what is that mobile home as is, current condition, worth? Most people can tell you that. And again, know your numbers and work backwards so that it gives you the maximum allowed that you can offer on that home. Okay. Then you know the investing, you know how many numbers, and that's a whole nother number as well. How much would it take to rehab that specific mobile home? Who are you taking out there? Is it a handyman? Is it a contractor? Are they adding everything up? Inside, outside, plumbing, electrical, roofing? Because I want to know all numbers and then see where we're at. Then and only then can you decipher, yes, it's a good deal. Not so good of a deal. Time to play negotiation. The one number that you can lower is the price of the home. You start lowering the price of the cost of the material or the labor, then you start delivering a poor product. And then you can't try to get the ARVs that are in the area. So the only number is the cost of the home. And again, it's all backwards numbers. Any questions? Make sure I know I'm moving along. Make sure you drop them on the comment section there. Let's see. Due diligence, that's another one that I see a lot. Now, we have a big comparison when it comes to real estate and mobile homes. You have real estate and you have personal property, not the same thing. Now, if the mobile home has land, that's a whole nother thing, okay? At that point, you would be involved in real estate, even if the mobile home still had a title. Another call. Somebody suggested, I'll make a call on that. Okay. But when it comes to the due diligence on a mobile home versus real estate, there's a lot of things that, again, you cannot do with some realtors in certain areas will get involved in this. So you do have that option. Closing agencies, they'll have that as well. So you can reach out to them, but all it involves is a bunch of phone calls. Okay. You have to know what you're checking. And we coach all this, by the way. So if you are trying to get into this more so and learn the due diligence part of the paperwork, because it is the legality side. That is not something you want to take lightly. You have to know all your documents, all your paperwork. Is the bill of sale the same as the title? No. Should you have both? Yes. Okay. Does one replace the other? No. So there's a lot of things that you have to know, and it's on accordance. We do a call where we show you how to verify. And part of the due diligence is checking not only lot rents are they paid on time. That's something you definitely want to check. You want to check on the any liens, any taxes past due. And you also want to make sure that you're getting the correct title. That's something that I'm seeing. You go and you buy a single wide 14x70 1998 Fleetwood, whatever it may be, and you got a Ford pickup title. That's not going to work. So you have to be able to check that and verify, make sure, hey, this actually belongs to what you're selling me. We've had a couple this way in the beginning of, and this was not done purposely. We were dealing with park owners. And of course, they have titles after titles. They're blessed, and that's awesome. I love it. But they gave us a couple titles that did not match, the mobile homes. It was just a little miscommunication. So no big deal there. But I assure you, when you buy from a direct seller, you pay them that money and you get that title, good luck finding them. I yet to be able to communicate with the seller that sold me a mobile home. I guess they think if you call them back, you're giving them bad news. I don't know. Maybe you want your money back. That was not the case, and not why I was calling, but that's just the way that I've seen. So you want to make sure that all your due diligence is done right on paperwork, that it's not something to take lightly, and it goes for the mobile home itself as well. Again, we're talking about contractors and figuring out numbers. Before you even make an offer, you have to be able to get out there, review the home, walk it. If you know what you're looking at and you can decipher the pictures, have at it. Even so, I would suggest that you go ahead and have boots on the ground. You know, we had one like that. What was it, Ludowici or Savannah, or I don't remember. Pretty nice mobile home. It looked nice. It was decent. Single wide, no damage. The roof looked good. It just checked out. And when you saw it on pictures, of course, you can only see so much. But just something about me told me, let's go ahead and get boots on the ground out there. Let's send somebody just one last time to check it out, and we're going to go ahead and make an offer. Well, sure enough, we sent a bird dog at the time, and he got out there, and turns out that he couldn't even walk the mobile home. As soon as he opened that door, basically the carpet was holding the particle board underneath. Now, how do you know that in the picture? Well, you don't. And that's what I'm talking about, is you have to really, truly know what you're looking at, or have connections, or be able to get out there so that you can do a proper due diligence. If we had not done that, we would have paid for what they were asking for that mobile home. Really, it was a good deal. But then again, there's that. Too good of a deal could be too good to be true kind of thing. But all in all, is like, look, do your due diligence. Okay, there's no exceptions. We've made a couple exceptions in the past, and it did not pay up. One including being that we had a lien on a mobile home. Okay, so learn from that. You can learn from me on here from my mistakes. You don't have to do them again. Okay, let's keep going. Which is worse, he who takes action and fails, or he who doesn't but avoids deals? Somebody asked that. Well, I would say this. It's almost like riding a bicycle. I like to tell you to get on it, ride it, and you're not going to fall or hurt yourself. But in the process of learning, unfortunately and fortunately, you're going to bust your rear here and there. But you get up and you keep going, and you take that learned lesson. Now, if you're making the same mistake over and over, then I don't know what to say to you. But you have to keep going, okay? Keep pushing. That's the only thing. There's many ways that you can avoid certain mistakes, certain careless mistakes. One, simply don't be rushing. But, learn as much as you can and get at it. You do go out and you make a bad sale, or what it may be, you can always get the next deal and make it up on that. We've had deals that aren't successful. Everybody fails at one point or other. So that's definitely something that you don't want to get discouraged on, okay? So learn enough. Where can you learn about mobile home investing? There is, I put it this way. When I first got started 7 years ago, I don't think anybody knew about mobile homes. I remember joining the little local RIAs and trying to connect, trying to network, and you start speaking out, and it was like speaking alien to people. Mobile homes, like it was just unheard of. But that's not the case anymore. Now in today's world, and I contribute to this by coaching this, of course, is you have a bird dog, a wholesaler, a flipper, an investor, every street. Okay, and it's growing, and I think it's a great thing, because there are enough mobile homes to go around. They're nationwide, and apparently I've been told they're worldwide. So hey, there's opportunities. But what I'm getting at is that you have a lot of people that you should be networking with, and that's one thing I felt when I first got started. I was much of an introvert. I didn't care to talk to people. I got it. One of those kind of attitudes. I'll figure it out. Well, you will figure it out, but you're going to spend a lot of will, and you're going to burn a lot of time, and that's what I did. So now with so many people out there doing it, reach out to people who are doing what you're trying to do, or who are already there as to where you're headed, and just connect. You're going to run into questions. You're going to run into, oh my gosh, kind of moments. There is somebody out there that can help you out. We ourselves, we coaches, obviously, you know how to find us, but it's one of those things is to connect, network, and ask questions before you do. Assuming, that is probably the number one recipe to disaster. Okay, so definitely don't do that. Coaches, mentors, let's jump onto that. Another one of my mistakes. It took me about a year before I first got my first mentor. Okay, why? Because it was expensive. Okay, I didn't want to spend money. Both of those terms are badly used, by the way. Okay, when you invest in a mentor or a coach, you're investing. There's no better investment in life than in yourself. So you have to invest in a mentor. A good coach is going to help you speed time. It's going to help you avoid mistakes. It's going to help you get there quicker. Okay, I have a whole video on that. You can check on our YouTubes as to how to find a proper right coach or mentor. Because then there's also a lot of teachers. Teachers is somebody who teaches something but doesn't really necessarily do it on their own. I don't want to learn from that person. Nothing against them, but I want to learn from somebody who's out there getting it on. Okay, so that is definitely something that I would suggest for anybody getting started. Is if you don't have the funds at this time, it's understandable. Connect with somebody who's doing it and simply offer a service and try to connect and let them kind of guide you. Go under the wing. But if you can, and you should, because as my coach would say, you cannot afford not to afford a coach. You need them. Okay. So yes, at this point, I have over 6 coaches and going. So I love my mentors, my coaches. They save me headaches and coach me a lot. So, but those is definitely something that I would suggest is going to save you a lot of time, a lot of the spinning wheel, and a lot of you can spend money. You'll make up the money. But when you spend that time, that's it. You don't get that back. Okay. Now, it took me 1 year to do 10 deals when I first got started. Second year, I had 15 deals done in under 4 months. Why is that? Because I learned, I was getting better. And that's what happens. And again, that's for the coaches. So let's keep going. All right. Any questions, make sure you put them on there. I'm going to give you a little breakdown of what things that you should be looking at as you're getting started, more so like a step-by-step. And we have this, of course, we coach it 7-step. It's a 7-week program we can guide you to. But what should you look for in a mobile home? At a breakdown, right? Deals you can trust and verify. That one's huge. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Deals that you can trust and verify. I would say start with park owners, park management. Now, I know you can't always reach the park owners, and don't try to reach over a manager into a park owner. A park manager is placed in a park to manage the park. If that's all you connect with, then that's who you speak to. Okay. A park manager will make you or break you. So don't try to overpass them, but they are going to be able to offer you the best of deals and many times. And of course, anything they most likely they say is going to be legit, because they understand things from a business standpoint. I'm not saying a direct seller, meaning somebody who lives in a mobile home or simply trying to sell one, is not telling you the truth, but I would be a little more weary. Again, can you trust and can you verify? Now, I don't have time to break down the title, due diligence, and etc., but we do have videos on that, and of course, we can make some. Okay, so definitely I will start with those. Reach out and make phone calls. Many no's turns into a yes. A lot of you are still, they said no, I don't really want to call them back. Well, no, you should. Okay, it's called follow-up. When you get a no, you follow up a couple weeks, and then eventually you get that yes. So it will come. Okay. Work on your pitch. I think I made a reel on this weekend. It's the pitch. Somebody said, how long should you work on a pitch? Okay. One, it never perfects. I'll tell you that. One, the more you grow, the more business or the more product or service, whatever you're doing that comes into, you're gonna have to change that pitch anyway. But I would say you're always working on it. Think about it almost like they call it elevator pitch. If you had 30 seconds to tell me exactly what you do and how you can help us, that's what I would want to be interested in. Any sales pitch that you have, I will always say, make it a win-win. Why do they need you? Why do they want you? When that park owner or park manager hangs up that phone, or if we meet in person and I leave, they need to be asking, where's this person been this whole time? And it's because you're there to help them as much as you're there to help yourself. Okay. I've heard some pitches before, and I'll tell you right now, they ain't going to cut it. I is all I heard. None of that had we, or we will do this for you, or we can help you on this. Everything was like, I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to wholesale. I'm going to flip. And I'm thinking that's not going to do. So work on your pitch, and we can help you with that as well. Okay. Learn to make offers. Okay. A lot of you know enough. I'll tell you this. If you're taking a few of these coaching calls that I do on Sunday, and you're spending some time on YouTube and learning, you're a lot ahead than I was when I first got started. But one of the things that I see a lot of investors not do is make enough offers. You're not making enough offers. If you know your numbers, especially, you are way ahead already. You're a lot more ahead than you think. Make the offer. Well, they may not take it. Okay, well, then you negotiate. A lot of you make that first offer and they take it, you're all excited. I always say this: if you make an offer and they take it, you overpaid. What are you pausing for? Okay, so you didn't do your numbers right. Something was off. Now, if it's a deal, it's a deal. It is what it is. You both win. But if they accept the first offer, you pay too much. Remember that. Okay, but base it on actual factual numbers. Okay, markets. What do they allow? And no market is the same, by the way. Learn as is, like I was saying, maximum allowed offer, MAO. Okay, you have to know what the cost of the mobile home is. You have to know what the numbers are, and you have to know what you can afford to spend on it. Once you do all the numbers, including the rehab, the labor, the cost, utilities, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, you have to know that, because you have to know that MAO. Okay, proper due diligence on paperwork. I cannot stress that enough. I have seen court cases where they go the opposite way, all because paperwork was done wrong. Don't be that guy or that lady who goes into a courtroom and all your paperwork is wrong. Take your time. If you have to hire a real estate attorney, I suggest it. Do it. Do what you need to do, but make sure that when it comes to your paperwork, everything is intact. Okay. Let's see what else. And of course, remember that we're not dealing with real estate. This is personal property. And when it comes to closings, even though the due diligence may be equal to or similar to, when it's time to close, it's not the same. Okay. It's a simple title or titles if it's a double wide. And we're simply closing on that, much like a vehicle, a boat, a bike, whatever you want to call it, personal property. Okay. Hiring the right contractor and or handyman. Oh, I got plenty of people on this call here who have struggled. I've struggled and I'm still struggling. You're always going to struggle. That is the unfortunate side. And I think that's just part of it. Most contractors, unfortunately, they have the bad rep because of that. Okay. They want to do everything but actually work. And you're just going to have to decipher. Now, when you have a good crew, a good contractor, keep them. Okay. I've been known to buy them lunch, dinner, whatever I need to do. I take care of them is what I'm saying. But, definitely keep them because they're hard to come around. And when you do get one, keep them going. I don't have a mobile home right now. That's not an excuse. I keep my guys busy because I don't want nobody else to get them. But that is definitely something that is challenging for all of us. I can say that's for all of us, but it's all how you start the interview. Where are you getting these guys anyway? How did you find them? Okay. Did you do a proper due diligence, a proper interview? Did you see some of their previous work? Did you call some references? Most people can answer half of those questions, which all mean no. Well, then there you go. You're setting up yourself for failure with the new contractor. So keep it in mind that one's huge. Okay. And of course, put on correct markets, which would also hand in hand, browse and additional deals. So once you do get that first deal, I usually see some investors who get that one deal, everything kind of checks out. They didn't really have any struggles, which is a great thing. And then past that deal, it's like, okay, they take their time for the next one. Everybody has a different approach to it. I myself like to multiply. I don't like to add my ones or twos. I want to multiply more and more. And, I explore every exit strategy from not rentals. We are actually thinking a couple of this time coming up, but we do a bunch of RTOs. We flip, we wholesale, we move, we transport, whatever you can think of. So I would say the same thing, but it's that multiply after you do your first deal, because the hardest deal is the first one. What happens after the first deal? Okay. Let's say you flip it. Okay. You took this mobile home, you rehabbed it, and you flipped it. What is one thing that you gained out of that as you were trying to sell it? Buyers. That was one thing that you were challenged with. It's like, well, who am I going to sell it with? But after you went out there on the market and you start advertising it more and more, you notice that now you had 5, 10, 15, 20 people that were actually interested legit. Got a lot of people that are not. That's part of it. But out of those 20 people, let's just say one family gets the mobile home. You can't sell it to all 20. That means you have 19 buyers that need a home. Now you got a demand. Go ahead and go get more and keep growing this. It gets easier after the first deal. Okay. Questions? How are y'all finding?
I've got a question.
But
Did I interrupt you?
yes.
Okay, so let's say you've finished your flip and you've invested, you've got it turned around and you want to put it back on the market. What is the most successful way that you've seen? Is it through social media? Are you connecting with realtors? Is it the park managers that are helping you out? What's the best way to get that out there and get it sold?
All the above. Depends on where you're at. We had a couple homes in Venice Beach, Florida, where we use realtors, including also Bessemer, Alabama, where you have realtors who actually specialize a little bit more in mobile homes. Park management, they can be a great assistance too, but I would say that overall you cannot beat social media. It's large, it's huge, and it's growing.
Awesome, thank you.
Steve, good evening. How are y'all finding labor right now? It is so competitive for hourly labor right now. Do you recommend only bidding by the job? So, Steve, I would say, same thing. We use social media definitely. And a lot of times, so here's the thing. If a contractor specializes only in apartments, houses, stick built, that's not going to be a person you want to go to anyway. Because one, they may not even want to do a mobile home, but if they do, they're bringing their prices of what they do in a house over to your mobile home. and it's not going to work out over there. So a lot of times we use handyman, okay, instead, depends on what the job is needed. Or if we use contractors, then we just want to make sure that it's ones that actually work in mobile homes and understand you're working for an investor and this is affordability housing. So we don't pay top notch. One of the things I tell all my contractors, I don't pay top dollar. I'm going to tell you up front from now, we don't pay top dollar, but what I can do for you is keep you busy, consistency, constant work. And that many times to them, it's more rewarding than just having that one large pay and then they have to worry about the next payday the next day. Okay, let's see. If a real estate agent is trying to invest in mobile homes, how does he or she need to let the seller buyer know of the active license if the home is in a rented lot? Example, park. If a real estate agent is trying to invest in mobile homes, does he or she need? No, you do not. I mean, you can if you want to. So BISO, whoever you are on here. So that's awesome that you're a real estate agent. I'm sure you get plenty of deals and you hear about mobile homes all the time. I would say, you know, mobile homes are very different from real estate. You can let them know, but overall, they're not really going to care who you are. If you can buy the home and you can take it, pay what they're asking, especially, you're going to get it. Okay. Now, something like that would be more so on the other way around. If when you go to sell it, you know, I don't know what all you have to disclose on your end as a realtor. But, you know, at that point, I would say to a new buyer, you may have to disclose certain things. Do you help with paperwork, forms, contracts to use? Do we need a license to invest in mobile homes like a trader or a broker, etc.? Good questions. Okay. So I'm not an attorney. Any and all advice that I give you on here is for educational purposes only. I don't provide contracts, but I can guide you to some if you take our education. Do you need a license to invest in a mobile home like a trader or a broker? So if you were going to sit here and just deliberately every day, you know, flip these things or sell them almost like a dealership, then I would say, yes, you do. And I don't know where you're located, so you have to check with the city, county, state rule regulations on that. Again, I'm not an attorney. But the sale, much like what we're doing many times, no, you know, especially if you're a bird dog wholesaler, you're really being paid for your time. So you would not need it in that sense. But at one point, I do suggest that each and every one of you go ahead and looks into a license or at least checks on the rule regulations. You just don't want to be doing something legally. How do you get the MAO on a mobile home that sits on land by itself with nothing to compare it to? Jalen? That's a good question there. So a couple things on that. If that mobile home, well, answer, I don't know if there's something you're dealing with, but you know, if it's a mobile home that it's on land and it's attached to the land, meaning that the title or titles, if it's a double one, has been retired, then at that point you have to estimate it with the land. You have to treat it like real estate. Okay. Now, if it's just a mobile home sitting there, I will still try to look and find nearby parks maybe and try to figure out in that sense. And there's parks everywhere. So you can find, you know, that and or if there's a mobile home already in that area, others that have sold in the past 30, 60, or 90 days, even if it does not look like it, maybe it was a move-in ready, simply work backwards, work those numbers backwards. Let's see. Okay, I think I answered all the questions. Monica, I mentioned, you know, Monica is our education GMHU sales agent. She's having a little issues with her camera, so she won't be able to come on, but you can hear her. So Monica, did you want to go ahead and take this time real quick to advertise a couple of things we have? And then I got a couple of things also.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to just kind of let you know that we're gonna have a meetup on October the 16th, but it's gonna be like a Zoom call from 12 p.m. to about maybe 12:45, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm gonna be posting more information in regards to that on Facebook. So, or if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, 956-378-7893. And also for those of you that are new investors, I highly suggest for you to join the event that is coming up on October the 23rd, which will be in Dublin, Georgia. And it's a one-day event. And in this event, Mr. Garcia will teach you the ins and outs of the mobile home investing business. So I highly suggest for you to attend. And again, it will be from 9 o'clock in the morning to about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So for more information, I'll be posting that on Facebook. Any questions that you might have in regards to that as well? you can go ahead and give me a call, or I also posted my email in there. So any questions, let me know, please. And also, one more thing, for those of you that are new, I would like to schedule a 15-minute consultation with Mr. Garcia, and he will answer any questions that you might have in regards to your business. So my information again is on the chat.
Okay. Thank you, Monica. So any of you that do join us at the networking, it's been taking place at the Taco Mac in Beaufort, Georgia. I'm not against it. That's an event I took on 3-4 months ago for really another investor friend partner. I like those calls there, but well, those live networking. I love networking in person versus a screen. Nothing against this, but in person is just a little better. As I've been told, we are going to be competing with a crowd watching football and hollering. I figure that's not going to really work. So we're not going to do it this time around. We're going to go ahead and this up and coming Saturday, next Saturday, we will have it at the same time that it would take place in person, only we're going to do it here on Zoom. And all it is Q&A. Go ahead and bring some questions on board. Any way I can help y'all. Deals, we can talk about whatever y'all want, okay? I may even do that. Maybe some deals that I don't get to present on Tuesday, we may go ahead and toss them on there. Let's just discuss them. Let's break them down. Let me show y'all what numbers actually look like versus what they're telling you they look like, okay? I think that's good on there. But that's next Saturday, 12 p.m. to 1. So if y'all can join that, we'll go ahead and put the link. Monica will blast that out probably tomorrow. She'll have that information. And yes, something a little bit differently about the shadow event. I know I mentioned this last month, and now we didn't get to that. You know, we may do next month or wait until January to convert it into a 2-day event. We want to give you as much information possible. That is my goal, and that's why I'm trying to stretch it from a 1-day to 2-day. Okay, so that I can give you as much information and it's not rushed in any way. Okay. But it's going to be more like a classroom setting followed by an actual day event in the park. Okay, so this one up and coming is still going to be a 1-day event, but it's going to be a little bit lengthier. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. registration, 9 in the morning. We get started 9 in the morning. We'll be inside of the office, beautiful double wide they have at a park located east of Georgia. It's central Georgia. But what makes it a little bit differently as well is that we're going to have guest speakers coming into these events. More things that you need to learn. You need to learn regardless. And this could even be if you're in real estate. One of those is going to be this gentleman who's coming on too. He will be talking about LLCs, S Corp, IRA, how to invest, the legality, even far more than into, and a lot of things that all of us could learn a little bit more into. They're always changing things. So he will be talking about that. I think that's going to benefit a lot of you who join on there. And then, of course, then we also have the one thing that we cannot ignore is insurance, insuring mobile homes. That has to happen. It's not a question. It's not an option. We will have a lady who we deal with directly who's going to come in and be speaking about that as well. And yes, if any of you on there during this event want to get their services, you can do so. That's what they're there for as well. So just a lot of things that we implement on here, and we're always making this better. Okay. Then, of course, at that point, at one point, I will go ahead and jump in and I'm going to teach you the 7 steps to acquiring your first, second, third, or additional deals, how to make it easier and multiply. Then we'll take you out into the park where you will see actual investment deals for one. You know, we've seen many shadow events where we take students out and at the end of that event, they walk out with 1 or 2 deals. You know, that is what you want to do. Think about it. One event. I can't think of any events that I've ever been where I was able to grab me a deal. Well, we offer that to you. Any of you who wants to join us at that park when we're out there investing. And we got many deals, but you'll be able to see some that are actually available and we will be walking through and breaking down. Doesn't get better than that. So definitely get with Monica on that. That is 2 Saturdays from now, October 23rd, 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m. I'll start sharp and ready. So any questions, anything else you may need, get with Monica. She has added all her information on the chat box. We definitely thank y'all for joining. We're a little bit over time now at 8:40. So I'm going to go ahead and cut Facebook over here. And if nothing more, we will see you on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Let's Do Deals. A lot of inventory new, a lot of new inventory and a lot more coming up. So hope to see you all there. Well, thank you. Thank you, Gloria and Monica, for joining us this evening, both sales agents here, and we'll see y'all all on Tuesday.